everybody and welcome to week 19 of lockdown 3. I hope you're all still well. So this is our last full-length YouTube class now before we start back in our classes next week, and I'm very excited to see you all. So you should all have heard from me with regards to which group you're in for starting back. That's for my classes that are split. I do have a couple that basically the numbers have got so low that I can accommodate you every week. So you will be in every week at the moment until my numbers start to pick up again, and hopefully they will. So you should have heard from me as to when you are starting back, and if you haven't, please let me know. But I think you should all have had a message from me, so you should know exactly when you're starting back. So I think that all that remains for me to say is thank you for hanging on in there with me. It's been quite an experience, hasn't it? Over this last, God, it's over a year, 14 months or so. I know we've been back in class in between. Hopefully this will be our last lockdown. So thank you to you all, and I really look forward to seeing you back in class. Please make sure you've got all your equipment ready today, and I will see you on your mat. Hey everybody, and welcome to your intermediate Pilates class. So please make sure you've got all your equipment ready, and we'll get started. So standing tall, your legs and your feet hip distance, hip sockets down to your feet, and just checking there that your toes are pointing forward. So please do have a look down, check that your feet aren't turning out to the side. So your toes are forward, your hips in the right place, relaxing your shoulders. As always, we're starting with focus on breath and just closing your eyes to help you focus. We're taking a deep breath in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. And again, deep breath in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. So as you're breathing, checking that you are focusing your breath wide and full into your ribcage, feeling the ribcage expand as you breathe in. As you blow out, softening the ribs down towards your hips. So continuing with your breath, we're now engaging into your deep lying abdominals, starting a contraction through the pelvic floor, taking a breath in. As you breathe out, so drawing up on your pelvic floor, bringing your connection then up into the deep lying abdominals, feeling you're engaging into that whole core sit of muscle wrapping around you, and those muscles connecting directly into your spine. So maintaining that hold, we're staying with your breath. But then to check through your posture, we're starting with your head and your neck. Always feeling your way into your neck posture. So you need to feel for that stretch at the back of your neck. You're feeling for the lengthening up from your crown. Your chin needs to be parallel with the floor, and invariably your chin needs to be lower than you think it needs to be. We're now gently lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. We're then rolling your shoulders back. We're sliding your shoulder blades down your back and holding them there. So checking out, can you really feel that connection into your mid-back? We're moving away from rounded shoulder posture. And remembering these muscles are essential for good posture. We're going to take your chest stretch now, so arms go behind your back, interlacing the fingers, making sure you've got the ribs drawn down. So keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands, and that's where you need to be on your shoulder girdle posture. We're now checking on the curve to your lower back, settling into your neutral spine. We're taking a tilt of your pelvis forward, we're then tilting back, and from there we're settling into the centre. Remembering if your tendency is to arch your lower back, you will need to exaggerate your tuck under, and it does need to feel really exaggerated. We're now working down to your legs, remembering to take that softness to the knees. So checking out, are you locking out your knees? If you are, you're locking out your lower back as well. So I'm always keeping that softness to the knees. And working down to your feet and checking there is your body weight equal into both legs and feet. So just feel your weight now underneath your feet. Are you equally balanced? We'll take your gentle sway from side to side. So just feel your weight shifting from one foot to the other. We're slowly then coming to settle back into the centre. And once you're there, again, just check your weight into your feet. We're going back to the hook attached to your crown. So imagine you're being pulled and pulled and pulled up by the hook. So you're just feeling yourself getting taller and taller. And remembering you can't get too tall. We're constantly working on lengthening out your spine. Always being as tall as you can be. So maintain that posture, focusing back on your Pilates breathing. You're engaging into your deep lying abdominals. And we'll take some movement now through the shoulders. So on your next breath in, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Blowing out, rolling your shoulders, your shoulder blades down your back. And continuing with your movement. So working here now at your own pace. Working with your breath. Gradually increasing that range as you go. So making the movements a bit wider each time. And you're ready to take both arms up over your head and to continue around from there. And feel you are really stretching right up to your arms, your hands, your fingers, your fingertips, and really focus on getting that wide range of movement. When you're ready, we'll move this into balance. So opening your eyes, fixing your gaze. So breathe in, sweeping the arms up, gently lifting your heels. Breathe out, drawing the shoulders back, taking the heels down. So we're going to stay here to take a few of these movements. Try to stabilise through the big toes. Try not to roll onto the outside of your feet. And making this next one now your last one. So back to your start position, just shaking it all out. Chest stretch, arms behind your back, interlacing the fingers. Keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands. So ready now to move on to your neck, coming into knots. Taking your breath in. So you breathe out, so nodding the chin down towards your chest. Holding here to breathe in. Your two movements now in one. So you breathe out, you need to push it into the back of your neck with the pull up from the crown. So we're going to stay here to take a few of these movements. So you're stacking your vertebrae directly one over the next, creating some space between those vertebrae. So making this next one now your last one. Slowly back up, your shoulders relaxed. Ready now to take your stretch down the side of your neck. So left hand comes onto your right shoulder. Make sure you don't move through your waist. Taking your breath in. So you breathe out, just easing your right shoulder away. Right ear goes up towards the ceiling. Keep on easing the right shoulder away. Slowly bring your head to centre, releasing your arm. Changing over, so just easing that left shoulder away. Slowly back to centre. We're going to take one more to each side. So this one is your last one. Slowly back up, releasing your arm, rolling your shoulders round. So ready now to mobilise the rest of your spine. We're going to come into the roll down. If you haven't done your flat back yet today, please go and do that now. So ready for the roll down, it's full pelvic tilt. Please focus on the abs doing the work. Taking your breath in. So you breathe out, we're nodding the chin. Slowly rolling your head down the front of your body. Be careful here that you don't lean forward. Arms and your head just hanging, just dripping down to the floor. So down to your furthest point. Holding here now to take a deep breath in. Really hard work on the abdominals. So you breathe out, you need to push your hips forward, pushing your knees forward, and you slowly uncurl your spine. Make sure you're using your lower, your mid, your upper abdominals, shoulders, your neck, your head, back up to standing. Same thing again, so full pelvic tilt. Breath in as you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling down. This time when you're coming back up, stay really closely focused on what's happening to your lower back. So making sure it stays moving all the way back up. I'm going to make this one our last one. So this time we're rolling down, we're just staying here, just hanging your spine. Gentle turn your head side to side, just checking that your neck is relaxed. Please bring over some support for your hands if you need it. back to centre. We're going to move this hand to a gentle sway. So forward into your toes, back into your heels, just gently there, forwards and back. So really nice posture this for the spine. So really try and visualise your vertebra opening out. And your last one, back to your start position. Check your weight into your feet. Keeping your chin tucked in, we're going to walk your hands forward down to your mat. Knees are coming down one at a time. So we're in tall forwards position and checking your setup once you're there. So wrists under shoulders, your knees under your hips. Check your shoulders are down, they're away from your ears. Drawing your shoulder blades down your back and we're drawing up high in the pelvic floor. So ready for downward dog, stretch, breathing in, we're tucking the toes under. So you breathe out, we're pushing up with the hips, your head's just hanging to the floor. Taking your feet a little bit further back. We now bring a real deep bend into your knees. So draw your knees towards your chest. Draw your chest towards your knees, and with your knees very bent, you challenge those to see how high you can push your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So just really trying to create a little bit more space between those longer vertebrae. Ready now to move on, so come up to your toes and take your feet a few inches further back. Check that your head's just hanging to the floor. So ready now for foot pedals, so taking a breath in. As you breathe out, a bend through the right knee, left heel goes down. Breathe in up to toes, breathe out to change. So just nice and slowly. Always be careful with this one that you're not working too quickly. If you're working too quickly, you will tend to get more of a half stretch there on your calf. So really take your time to ease the heel down towards the floor and to get your full stretch. And then going to final last one. So we'll finish off with a bend through your left knee. Breathe in, you're up to your toes, your heels are lifted. Without lowering your heels down, easing your hips up towards the ceiling. So the stretch on your hamstrings goes upwards. Breath in, breathe out, taking the heels down. And again, breathe in, up to toes, heels are lifted. Breathe out, easing the hips up. Breath in, breathe out, taking the heels down. Got one more. So up now onto your toes, ready for your lunge, up to fingertips if you can. Ready with the right leg. Breath in as you breathe out, step forward with the right foot. Scoot to the left foot further back. And just check there that you've got your hip distance. Shoulders just nice and relaxed. Your line of vision, you're looking down to the front of that right ankle. Always making sure the front knee never goes beyond the edge of the toes. Drawing up on your pelvic floor now, we're going to squeeze that left glute as strongly as you can. Join up on your pelvic floor and we're breathing, a deep breath in, blowing out. So being still here before you move on. If you are ready to move on, arms going behind your back, interlacing the fingers, drawing the shoulders back. If you're ready from here, we're going to add in our rotation. So releasing the hands, we bring the left arm around and we'll bring that left hand down towards the right hip. Your right arm then goes behind your back. We're bending at the elbow and we're aiming to bring it, I don't know if you can see my hand here, we're aiming to bring that hand around and wrap around the waist. You're aiming eventually to be able to look at that back foot. So just breathe into this posture. Try and get a bit further around if you can. That your last one, slowly come back then to your start position. And if you're ready now, we're drawing the forehead towards the shin, stretching your arms up, keep squeezing that left glute. That your last one, releasing your arms, hands either side of that front foot. Breath in as you breathe out, pushing back to your downward dog. Hip distance on the feet, breathe in to come up to toes. Breathe out, taking the heels down, and again. Breathing up to toes. Breathing out, heels down. This time up to your toes, going to change over. Up to fingertips if you can. Breath in as you breathe out, step forward left foot. Scooching the right foot further back. And again, just take your time to get into position. Check on that front knee, make sure it's well behind the toes. Join up on your pelvic floor and squeezing that right glute now as strongly as you can. Shoulders are just nice and relaxed. We're breathing into the posture. A deep breath in. Blowing out. If you're ready to move on, arms behind your back, interlacing the fingers, drawing your shoulders back. So remember to be as still as possible here with these postures. If you're ready to move on, you rotate down to the other side. So releasing the hands, the right arm comes around and you're aiming to lay that arm, the forearm, onto the outside of the thigh. We then take the left arm bent at the elbow until wrap around the waist and just inching that right hand down towards the right hip. Let me know if you do reach your hip. So try and rotate around a bit further if you can. That'll be your last one, and slowly then come back to arms behind your back. And if you're ready, breath in as you breathe out, bring the forehead towards the shin, stretching your arms up. Keep on squeezing that right glute. That'll be your last one, releasing your arms. Hands either side of that front foot. Breath in as you breathe out, push back to downward dog. Breathe in to come to your toes. Breathing out, taking the heels down, and again. Breathing up to toes. Breathing out, heels down. This time you're up to your toes. Ready for split dog. Breath in as you breathe out, lift your right leg. Squeeze that right glute. So really push the right toes right up into the ceiling. Get the leg as long and as straight as you can. A bend then through the right knee. If you're ready, we're going to turn out that hip. So we're going to open out the hip here. So turn your hip out to your right. Draw the head underneath the right arm. Push that right knee up towards the ceiling. And if you can, try and pull back a bit further. Push up a bit further. That'll be your last one. Slowly bring the pelvis back. Re-extend the leg, the foot comes down. Both heels down, full downward dog. Breathing up to toes, breathing out, lifting your left leg. Squeeze that left glute and really push the left toes right up into the ceiling. If you're ready, a bend through that left knee. Breath in as you breathe out. Turn your hip out to your left. Draw the head underneath the left arm. Push that knee up towards the ceiling. Slowly then bring your pelvis back. Re-extend the leg, the foot comes down. Both heels down, full downward dog. Breathing up to your toes, you're up on your pelvic floor. So you breathe out, body weight forward over the arms, bending the knees, and slowly lowering down, well done. Right back then onto your heels, stretching the arms out, and releasing your wrists, your palms up, your palms down. So we're just going to take some time now for you to do whatever you feel you need to do to release your hands, your wrists, your fingers after that last movement. So you might feel that you want to rotate your wrists, you might want to massage your hands, massage your wrists, whatever you feel you need to do, then please just do that. And then when you're ready, bring your palms back to the mat. Ready then to release your shoulders. You might prefer some support underneath your forehead. So bring the arms around, your fingers touching the heels. When you're ready then, just allow your arms to relax to your sides with your palms up. And a stretch over the wrists. A breath in as you breathe out, kind of the palms up towards your head. Breathe in to release. And again, breathe out, kind of the palms up. Breathe in to release, and just two more. So your last one, relaxing your hands, relaxing your wrists. Now, take the arms out a little bit wider. We'll just take a few breaths in the posture. A deep breath in. Blowing out. So as you're breathing, you're checking that your shoulders are completely relaxed. If your shoulders don't feel completely relaxed in that position, please adjust the placement of your arms until they do. We're checking out for any remaining areas of tension. So just scanning from your head to your feet. And if you're finding any, then just allowing those areas to relax. Ready now to stretch out your chest, your shoulders, taking the arms behind you backwards, placing your fingers. Rolling right up onto the top of your head, stretching your arms up. And your last one, so you're releasing your arms. Bring the arms around, so pushing back up to all fours. From here we're going to bring it up to standing. So tucking the toes under, walking your hands to your knees, pushing up onto your toes, walking your hands to your toes, pushing down through the heels, knees are bent. Let's just tangle to the floor. Checking you've got a hip distance here on your feet. So ready to work hard with the abdominals. Breath in as you breathe out. Push your hips forward, push your knees forward, roll through your lower back. Slowly now up to standing. So we're going to take some mobility through the hips. And if you prefer to hold on to something, please go ahead and do that. Excuse me a sec, I'm just going to roll away my mat so I've got more floor space. You might want to do the same. So up tall from the crown, don't forget that. We're going to start off by balancing on the right leg, your right, my left. Balancing on the right leg and taking the movement through the left. So again, think tall, engage in the core, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, lifting your legs to 90 degrees, breathe in. As you breathe out, take the leg across your body, tap the toes in front and to the side. Breath in, as you breathe out, lift the leg up, take the hip around as wide as you can, and then you're tapping behind. Breath in, as you breathe out, your inward rotation, so bring it up and wide as you come up and forward. That's it, and tap in front. So remember with this one, your pelvis comes along with the movement. So I'm just going to move forward a little bit. So the pelvis comes along with the movement. If you can, try and get to that extension there at the back. So I think a really, really quite accessible way, basically, to mobilise your hips. And if you know that you are starting to stiffen up around your hips, please just try and maintain that mobility. Of course, you can do this in lying down if you prefer. Well, if this is your last one, back to your start position, just pedal out your feet. So ready to change over, again, think up tall. So lifting the right leg, breath in as you breathe out, tap it to the side and in front. Breath in as you breathe out, bring it up, take it around as wide as you can. Please make sure that you're not just going through the motions with this one. And it's really easy to do that. Before you know it, you're just basically doing this, which will obviously get you some mobility, but not as wide a range as you could be getting, maybe. So you just try and focus on the movement. Take it up and around and behind as wide as you can. Okay, making this on your last one. So back then to your start position. So we're going to just work now on opening out the hips a little bit further and on starting to get some strength work into the thighs. So walking your feet out wide, turn the toes out so that when you go into your plie squat, your knees are tracking in line with your toes. The spine stays upright on this one, make sure you don't stick your bottom out. So think about dropping the tailbone, we'll feel for the spine. One hand in front of the pelvis, one hand behind. And when you sit down to the squat, think about pushing your knees back so that they're in line with your toes. So join up on your pelvic floor, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, sitting down into the squat, take your breath in. And as you breathe out, use your quads, push it back up. When you come back up to your standing, then squeeze your glutes there as well. Breath in as you breathe out, sit down into your squat, tuck your tail under. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly come back up, squeeze the glutes. So really try and get that horizontal line, hip to knee. So really try and sink down quite deeply into this squat. So really good for helping to open out the hips, stretching out your inner thigh muscles. So we'll just take a couple more. This one, your last one. Just try and hold it there now, tuck your tail under. Breathe in. As you breathe out, so you come back up, well done. Walking the feet back in to hip distance, shake it all out. Going to take a stretch now on hip flexors, balancing on the right leg, bend through the left knee, reach around, take a hold around the front of that foot. Take your breath in, try and get your knees level as well. Take your breath in, and as you breathe out, draw that heel in towards your buttock, lifting up the breastbone, lengthening up from your crown, supporting the always soft. And your last one, releasing that leg, just pedal out your feet. Changing over, balancing on the left leg. Bend through the right, reaching around, taking a hold on the front of your foot. Once you're there, tuck your tail under. Take your breath in as you breathe out. Draw that heel in towards your buttock. Lift up your breastbone. Lengthen from the crown of your head. And your last one, releasing that leg, just pedal out your feet. So we're going to move on now to your dart in standing. Of course, if you prefer to do it lying down, please do it in lying down. Back to the hands are facing forwards. Chuck your shoulders down. Rib cage is drawn right down. And you need to focus on that area between your shoulder blades. So that's where you need to start every movement. So when you're ready, get your breath in to prepare. So you breathe out, you're drawing your shoulder blades in towards each other. Then drawing your shoulders back as far as you can. Drawing the shoulder blades even closer in towards each other. And you're then breathing in to release. So please make sure your spine doesn't move. Breathe out, draw the shoulder blades in. Then you're drawing your shoulders back. Shoulder blades closer in towards each other. Breathe in to go back to your start position. So really, really important movement this one for your posture. Moving away from rounded shoulder posture. And of course, this is one of your 5-a-day exercises, and it's so important that you're maintaining good tone, good strength into these muscles, and remembering your spine relies on the strength of your muscles to keep it upright and supported. You're making this one your last one. So your last one now, if you're ready, into a hold. So drawing the shoulder blades in, drawing your shoulders back, and as you're drawing your shoulders back, also try and draw your shoulder blades right down your back. That's your last one, and release, well done. Taking this to a stretch now for the mid-back, we're interlacing the fingers. So it's full pelvic tilt, make sure you don't lean forward. Take your breath in, and as you breathe out, push into your back, push into your hands, keep on pushing into your back, keep on pushing into your hands. Should be feeling good stretch there now across the mid-back. Or down the mid-back, I should say. Your last one, breath in, and as you breathe out, you slowly back up to standing. So I'm just going to roll my mat out again. I'm going to bring this down now to the floor, where we're going to focus on strength. And this is all fours knee hovers we're going into. So any problems with shoulders, please feel free to go into any of our other quad strength exercises. So you can go into your standing squats, your hanging down squats, your knee hinges. So if that feels better for you, please just go ahead and do that. You're going to need your squashy ball. So it's full pelvic tilt, breathe in. So you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling down, hanging your spine. So keeping the chin tucked in, we're going to walk your hands forward now to your mat. Knees are coming down one at a time. So we're into all fours position. And please just have your squashy ball handy. We're not going to use it on your first level of the exercise, but we will be using it on the progressions from there on. So just having that handy. Remember, you can go for a sideways fist on this one as well if it starts to feel a bit strong into the wrists. And it is a strong exercise, so it will be challenging your upper body strength. So if you do prefer to take that sideways fist position, it looks like this, then please go ahead and use that. If you've got any problems with your toes, you don't have to tuck your toes under, you can just maintain a flat foot and push up from there. It is a little bit stronger, but it's a very good alternative if you've got the strength to do it. So we're into all fours, wrists under shoulders, your knees under your hips. Just check in with the placement of your neck. So feel for the stretch at the back, lengthening up from the crown, slight tuck in of your chin. And then just double check your placement by checking your line of vision. And that should be exactly midway between your hands. So shoulders are away from your ears. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Make sure that your knees are right underneath your hips. And I am going to take this straight into the knee hovers. So This is an intermediate class, so I'm going to go straight into knee hovers, and if when you get there you can't feel the connection into the mid-back and you can't correct it, please bring your knees back to the mat, because if that's you, that's basically indicating that the work's too strong. The main thing is that you're always working the right muscles, so please don't just push on with an exercise just for the sakes of it. Please always check in with yourself and make sure you're working the right muscles. So if you go into the knee hovers and you can feel that your shoulders are hunching up towards your ears, that's the wrong muscles doing the work. So you need to be able to make sure you can feel that engagement of the shoulder blades. So make sure you can feel it now. Join up on your pelvic floor. Breathe in to tuck your toes under. As you breathe out, we're pushing up with the thighs, we're hovering the knees now, hip width away from the mat. We're breathing into this posture, a deep breath in. Blowing out. So please feel for what's happening now through your mid-back. Make sure you can feel that engagement of your shoulder blades. Knees are literally hip width away from the mat. So this is a static contraction. 3 to 5 breaths, and then bringing the knees down, back onto your heels, stretching the arms out, releasing your wrists then, your palms up, your palms down. So we're going to take 3 sets of this exercise all together, and I'm going to go into progression on each one. So please work with the level that's best for you, the one that will give you the most effective exercise. Remember, you don't want to strain anything. So palms back to the mat, we're coming back up to all fours. So if you are ready now to go into the next progression, we're going to bring out your squashy ball and we'll place the ball into the small of your back. So remember, we're always working for a stable pelvis. So the ball now is basically going to tell you if there's any movement to your pelvis, because it will just roll off. So again, make sure your knees are right underneath your hips. Draw up on your pelvic floor. Breathe in to tuck the toes under. Breathe out, pushing up with the thighs, hovering the knees. So if you're ready to now, we're going into a foot pedal. So it's a breath in, and as you breathe out, you bring your right knee forward. You breathe in as it comes back, and the other one goes forward, and you continue that then alternating from one side to the other. So keeping the pelvis stable all the way through. Breathing goes like this. Stay there to work up to 10. And then you join the knees level, knees come down, well done, take the ball away, back onto your heels, stretching the arms out. So really strong exercise. You should be feeling that into your quads. This one is basically a top to toe exercise. So you'll get your upper body strength, you get your core strength, abdominal strength, leg strength. Really good overall strength exercise. When you're ready, back to all fours. So this is your last set and your last progression. So placing the ball. So progression on this next one is a foot lift. If you have any problems with your knees, you might prefer to stay with the foot pedals, because there is a lot of weight that goes down into that supporting knee. So it may be a bit too strong for you if you've got any problems with your knees. As always, please feel for what's happening. So shoulder blades down, engage the core, draw up on your pelvic floor. Breathe in to tuck the toes under. Breathe out, pushing up with the thighs, hovering the knees. Breath in as you breathe out, lifting one foot. Breathe in to lower. Breathing out to change. So continue to alternate from one foot to the other, keeping the pelvis stable. So making sure that ball stays where it is. It stays still. So try and keep your knees as close to the mat as you can. Literally, I'm sliding a piece of paper between your knees and your mat. So now just doing one more to each side. Back to start position, knees come down, well done. Taking the ball away, back onto your heels. Stretching the arms out, well done. Releasing your wrists, your palms up, your palms down, just coming back to your breath. And then when you're ready, palms back to the mat. Release the shoulders, bring the arms around, your fingers touching the heels. Then when you're ready, Going right up onto the top of your head, stretching your arms up. And your last one, releasing your arms, pushing back up to all fours, and now bring your knees off to the side and around to the front. I'm going to take this now to a seated hip stretch, so it's cross-legged, and if you do need to come up onto your block, please do that. So it's right leg in front of your left, like so, and if you don't like this one for whatever reason, remember your alternative is your lying down glute stretch. If you've got a problem with your knees with this one, so if that pulls on your knee, what you can try and do is to basically pad out the knee, support it. So you'd basically just take your squashy ball, if you've got a cushion handy, or a couple of cushions, you basically just place that underneath that knee, and it really does help to support the knee in the stretch. So it may just be that you just need to get some support and you're fine then to continue in sitting. But if not, then please come into lying down. So it's hands to the knees. You might want to have your blue block handy for this one. So hands to the knees, take your breath in. So you breathe out with nodding the chin, slowly rolling your head down. Just finding your place in the stretch. So once you're there, holding, breathe into the stretch, a deep breath in. Blowing out. So this is an excellent stretch for the backs of your hips, for your lower back. If you're ready to move on, we're going to bring your hands down to your mat. And if that feels too strong, remember you need to check yourself on that scale of 0 to 10. 0 being you can't feel any stretch, 10 being it's a really strong stretch. You don't want to be at 9 or 10 on that scale of 0 to 10 for your stretches. So if it feels like a 9 or a 10 with your hands on the mat, you might prefer to bring over your block and place your hands onto the block for now. If you're ready to move on, we're going to lower down then to the forearms. I'm not sure if I'm going off screen here. So lowering down to the forearms, excuse me. Lowering down to the forearms. If you're ready to. And if you're not, then placing your forearms onto that block. Your last progression on this one was stretching your arms out, walking the fingers away from you, pushing the backs of your hips down towards the floor, and really try and walk the fingers away as far as you can. Let me last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly walking the hands into you, pushing into your back, uncurling your spine up to sitting. Changing legs now, so it's left in front of your right, hands to the knees. Breath in as you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling your head down, finding your place in the stretch. You're ready to move on. Breath in as you breathe out, bring your hands down to the mat. You're ready from there, lowering down to your forearms. And your last progression is stretching your arms out. And your last one, breath in as you breathe out, slowly walking the hands into you, pushing into your back, uncurling your spine, so you're up to sitting. So if you're not already on your block now, can I ask you to come up onto your block, please? So coming up onto your block, I'm going to take a lat stretch from here now. So stretching out what do tend to be tight muscles down the sides here. So right hand goes down on the mat, your left arm goes up. Remember you need to anchor that left hip down. Take a deep breath in to stretch up. As you breathe out, go up and over into your stretch. Push the left fingers right up into the ceiling, left hip down towards the floor. Watch out for that right shoulder. Keep on stretching up. So thinking about opposite directions, fingers going up, hip going down, so you're anchoring the insertion point of that muscle that you're stretching. If you're ready, a bend then through the elbow to help increase the stretch. Releasing on your in-breath. So deep breath in up tall, releasing the arm, changing over. Right arm goes up. Take a deep breath in to stretch. As you breathe out, up and over into the stretch. Head just goes. Push the right fingers up into the ceiling, right it down towards the floor. And if you're ready, that bend through the right elbow. Releasing on your in-breath, deep breath in up tall, releasing the arm model. So do whatever you feel you need to do there to release. We're going to move this now into seated spine rotation, and please make sure your spine is upright. I know a few of you do need 2 blocks for this one to enable your spine to come up into its neutral position. If you are even slightly flexed, slightly rounded on your spine, so if you are here, for example, please don't continue this exercise in sitting. Come right up to standing or upright kneeling, cross your arms over your chest and take your rotation that way instead. So the main thing here is that your spine is upright. All your vertebrae are stacked directly one over the next. So remember, the crown of your head and your tail need to stay directly over each other all the way through. We're going to place the right hand to the side. Left hand comes onto the outside of the right thigh. Just lift up your breastbone. Your nose needs to stay directly over your breastbone all the way through. Take your breath in. Don't move your neck. As you breathe out, slowly walking that right hand around. And remember, we're aiming to get those deep spine rotators in the mid-back working. So that's where your focus needs to be. So round to your furthest point, we're then going to unwind a couple of inches towards the front. So breath in as you breathe out, just unwind towards the front. And again, breath in as you breathe out, walk the hands around. If your spine is ready to, try and go around a little bit further, although please don't force anything. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly come back. This is your last one now. Breath in as you breathe out, walk the hand around. Come into your rotation, and once you're there, lifting up the breastbone, just allow that left leg to completely relax. That's your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly come back to centre. Lifting up the breastbone, place the left hand, place the right hand. Take your breath in, don't move your neck. As you breathe out, slowly walking that hand around. As far as your spine wants to go, and it might be feeling quite different from one side to the other. Hold to breathe in, ready to unwind. Breath in as you breathe out, bring it back towards the front. And again, breath in as you breathe out, slowly walk that hand around. A little bit further if your spine wants to go. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly come back. This is your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly walk the hand around. Lift up your breastbone, so take that round as far as your spine wants to go. Just allow that right leg to relax, lift up the breastbone. It's so important that we're taking regular rotational movement for the spine. So rotation really helps to keep the spine mobile, helps to keep your discs healthy. So please try and incorporate it into your day-to-day. It's not one of your 5-a-day exercises, but try to incorporate some rotation if you can in your day-to-day. Slowly then coming back to your start position. We're now going to come off the block. So in fact, no, please stay on your block. So we're going to move straight into seated abdominals, and I think it is just good now and again to stay on the block to really just get that lumbar movement. And by sitting up onto your block, it really does help bring your spine into its neutral position. And you might well feel a difference now when we start to move the lumbar from when we work without the block. And what I would say to you is, if you really can feel that you're getting that mobility, that movement through the lower back, and you can't usually feel that very much, the next time we do our seated abdominals, then please just sit up onto your block. Really get the movement into your lumbar going, feel it, and then continue. So hands underneath the knees, shoulders are relaxed. You might want your squashy ball fall behind you, it's up to you. So let's start off then with that small tilt. Just relax off your legs, take your breath in, and as you breathe out, all you're doing here is pulling your tail forward and breathing to go back to neutral. You might want to close your eyes so you can feel it. So breathe out, pulling the tail forward, breathe in to go back to neutral. So we're just going to stay here to take a few of those movements and just check in with yourself now. How does this feel compared to when we usually do it without the block? Do you feel that you've got more movement? So if you feel that you do have more movement, that you're isolating the lumbar better by sitting up on the block, then the next time you do our seated abs, please place your block underneath, particularly if you're feeling quite stiff into your lower back on that particular day. So once you've got that lumbar movement, we're going to come off your block now. Safest way is to come into cross-legged, one hand down, taking the block away, place that off to your side. So if you do prefer to work with the ball behind you, please place that now. Small tilt, breath in as you breathe out, slowly roll down. Think about that C shape for the spine. So go back nicely over the ball, holding here to breathe in. You're looking at the front of your hips, and as you breathe out, you're pulling your shoulders down towards your hips and really focusing on pulling the upper body in towards the lower body. Head stays low. When your head's in line with the knees, that's when you're straightening back up to posture. If you're ready, the arms go parallel, small tilt. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly roll back over your ball. Of course, feel free to adjust the placement of the ball if you need to. And if you're able to go further back now, please go ahead and do that. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, pulling your shoulders forward, scoop the hands down towards the feet. So remember, when you come back up, the movement isn't upwards, it's down. If you're not sure, please have a look. So just focus on that for this next one. So you're going back over the ball. If you need to see it, please just have a look. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're basically just drawing the shoulders down, down, down towards the hips. You're scooping the hands away from you towards the feet. Back up to sitting. So if you're ready to now, we're going to go into our halfways. So you're going over the ball as far as is comfortable for you. Hold to breathe in. And as you breathe out, we're going to curl up just halfway. Breathe in as you breathe out, going back. We're going to work up to 5 of these. Breath in as you breathe out, curl up halfway. Breath in as you breathe out, go back. So you should be feeling this into your upper abdominals when you come up. And this should be working every segment of your more superficial abdominals. So you should be feeling it upper, mid and lower. There are actually 4 segments of the superficial abdominals. So if you do want to go and have a look at the superficial abs and what they look like, they're called Rectus Abdominis, if anybody wants to check them out. And we do often refer to these muscles as the 6-pack muscles. They're actually an 8-pack, but you just don't generally tend to see the very last segment. So let's just, if anybody's interested, we're going to make this your last one. So coming all the way back up now, really, really slowly. So pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Up to sitting. Well done. We're going to do the same thing again. So slowly rolling down over the ball. Halfways again. Breath in as you breathe out. Curl up halfway. Hands in line with the knees. Breath in as you breathe out. Going back. Breath in as you breathe out. Curl up. Breath in. Breathe out. Go back. Please let me know how you got on with this. And was it strong for you on your abdominals? And now just 2 more. And coming back up really slowly now to finish. Breath in as you breathe out. Pull up, really slow, 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 slow. Back up to sitting, well done. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Just relax into that posture. A deep breath in. Blowing out. So just relax off your neck, your shoulders, all the way down your back, into your lower back. And your last one, back up now to sitting, taking the ball away, and coming into lying down. And if you need any head support, please make sure it's there ready for you at the top of your mat. So if your back doesn't feel ready to roll down, please come onto your side, line your side, then onto your back, otherwise we're rolling down. So it's either knees bent or your legs straight, arms parallel or crossed or lifted. Small tilt on the pelvis, breathe in. As you breathe out, slowly rolling down, using the strength of your abdominals to press your spine to the mat. Spine goes down, head goes down. And once you're there, arms up over your head, stretching your legs out in front, so your full body stretch. Reaching the fingers away, reaching the toes away. So we'll take a few breaths here, a deep breath in, blowing out. So as you're breathing, just allowing the lower back to arch up a little bit higher if that's comfortable for you. If it doesn't feel very comfortable, please engage your core. Slide the heels into one at a time, so your feet on the floor, your knees are bent. As you're breathing, just allowing your rib cage to open out. Allowing your abdominals to relax. Relaxing off your midsection. When you feel that that's relaxed, try and relax it even further. You might need to find a different placement now for your arms for you to feel more comfortable in that posture. So placing your arms wherever is most comfortable for you. We're now relaxing off your hips, relaxing off your legs. So just allow your legs to be relaxed and heavy. Checking out for any remaining areas of tension from your head to your feet. And if you're finding any, just allowing those areas to relax. Before you start moving, re-engaging your core. Slowly bring your arms down. Sliding the heels into one at a time. We're now hugging one knee into your chest, followed by the other. Rolling the knees in and back. And again, rolling the knees in and back. So really nice stretch for your lower back. If you're ready, we'll take this hamstring stretch, we're hugging the knees in. Stretching up your legs, taking hold on calves or heels. Breath in as you breathe out, ease the legs in towards you and back. And again, ease the legs in and back. So if you know that you are able to take your legs over your head, we'll take this now to your plough posture. Arms to your sides, palms are down. Breath in as you breathe out, push down with your arms. Push up with the hips, feet on the floor behind you if you can, although please don't force anything. Holding there to breathe in, and as you breathe out, very slowly, carefully, just one vertebra at a time. Bring your spine back down to the mat. If you want to do another one, please go ahead and do that. Bending the knees, your feet to the floor one at a time. Arms out wide to your sides, ankles and knees together. Rotational stretch now, breath in. As you breathe out, knees over to your right, you're turning your head to your left. Breath in as you breathe out, drawing legs, spine, head, back to centre. Breath in, breathing out to over to the other side. Breath in as you breathe out, drawing legs, spine, head, back to centre. Then now sliding your arms down by your sides, it's hip distance on your legs and your feet. Heels quite close into you, to really encourage your glutes to do the work. Check you've got your central position for your spine, that your neck's in correct position. So ready for pelvic tilt, so taking a breath in. As you breathe out, pressing the lower back into the mat, squeezing your glutes, lifting the tailbone high, holding it here. So really try not to get your tailbone up even higher, closer to the ceiling, so keep on pushing it up. At your furthest point, holding to breathe in. And as you breathe out, very slowly, carefully, one vertebra at a time, feeling your 5 lumbar vertebra back down into the mat. Really try and see in your head, try and feel into the mat that you're getting that separation. So you're back to neutral. Once you're there, relaxing off the glutes. And if you're ready to now, coming up into full ski slope position. If you work with head support, that needs to come away for this one movement. Hands onto the fronts of your hips, making sure your pelvis stays stable. Drawing up on your pelvic floor, taking a breath in. As you breathe out, pressing your lower back into the mat, squeezing your glutes. Slowly peeling the spine away from the mat. Working up towards your head, pushing forward through the front of the knees, lengthening down the front of the thighs, right up into that ski slope position. So holding here now to breathe in, and as you breathe out very slowly, carefully, imagine you're lying on wet sand and you're watching each of your vertebrae imprinting into the sand as you roll down. As much of a tilt there as you can get on your pelvis, all the way back down to neutral. Once you're there, relaxing off the glutes, hugging one knee into your chest followed by the other, rolling the knees in and back, and again rolling the knees in and back. This is your last one, feet to the floor one at a time, hands onto the front of the hips again, draw up on your pelvic floor, breathe in, as you breathe out, pressing the lower back in, squeezing your glutes, slowly pinning the spine away, so you're right up into that ski slope position. As you're ready to this time, we're going to stay here and take some more strength work. Shoulders just nice and relaxed, draw up on your pelvic floor, take your breath in. As you breathe out, draw the knees in towards each other halfway. Breathe in to go back to your start position. And again, breathe out, draw the knees in. Breathe in, go back to your start position. Make sure as you draw your knees in that your hips don't drop down. The tendency is to do that. So as you're drawing your knees in, you need to think hips up, hips up, hips up. If you're ready to move on, we're going into a single leg lift. You do need to be strong into your glutes, basically, to be able to take this progression. So we're going to start off with a lift of the right leg. If when you lift that right leg, your left hip drops down, that's basically indicating that the work's too strong. Make sure you've got a pelvic floor, taking a breath in as you breathe out, lifting the right heel, lifting the toe, lifting your leg to 90 degrees, then you're stretching up the leg, pointing up through the toes, breathe in. As you breathe out, you lower the leg down to the knees are level, breathe in to flex the foot, breathe out, draw that leg back, breathe in to point the toes, breathe out to lower, knees level, breathe in to flex, breathe out, draw it back in. Last one, breathe in, point the toes, breathe out, lower, knees level, breathe in to flex, breathe out, draw it back in, and now push your heel right into the ceiling, make that left glute work. Hamstring stretch on the lifted leg, and I'm relaxing the foot, bend the knee, replacing the foot. Well done, just take your time to get that placement on your feet. Draw up on your pelvic floor, breathe in. As you breathe out, lift the left heel, lift the toe, lift the leg to 90 degrees, extend the leg, point up through the toes. Breath in. As you breathe out, lower the leg, knees level, breathe in to flex the foot, breathe out, draw the leg in, breathe in, point the toes, breathe out, lower knees level, breathe in, flex the foot, breathe out, draw the leg back in, last one, breathe in, point to the toes, breathe out, lower knees level, breathe in to flex, breathe out, draw the leg back in, and push that left heel right up into the ceiling, make that right glute work hard. Relax your left foot, bend the knee, replacing the foot, well done. Hip distance on the legs. So from here, draw up on your pelvic floor, taking your arms up now over your head, to the floor if you can. We're going to bring your spine down now with your arms over your head if you're ready to. If you're not, please bring your hands to your hip bones. Otherwise, scooching the feet a bit further away if you want at a time. Please take this nice and slowly. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly, carefully, sending the hands away from you in the opposite direction. And as much of a tilt as you can get on your pelvis. So all the way back down to neutral. Once you're there, slowly bring your arms down. And we'll take a short glute stretch now, right foot over your left knee. Just hold it here to start with. If you need to replace your hand support, by the way, please do that. If you're ready, just ease the legs in towards you, supporting with your arms and your hands. Right hand under your right knee, left hand supporting the right foot. Shoulders relaxed, just breathing into your stretch. Using the left leg now to help ease the right leg even closer into you. Slowly bring that foot to the floor, followed by the other. Left foot over the right knee, holding it there. If you're ready, ease the legs in towards you, supporting with your arms and your hands. So you use the right leg to help ease the left leg even closer into you. That'll be your last one, taking that foot to the floor, followed by the other. And now your arms out wide to your sides. Engaging your midsection, lifting your right leg to 90 degrees. Left hand onto the outside of the right knee, straightening out your left leg. Breath in as you breathe out, your leg goes over to your left, turning your head to your right. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly roll the spine, the leg, the head. Back to your start position, right foot to the floor, sliding the left heel in. When you're ready, lifting the left leg. Right hand onto the outside of the left knee, straightening out the right leg. Breath in as you breathe out, leg goes over to your right, you're turning your head to your left. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly roll the spine, the leg, the head. Back to your start position, left foot to the floor, sliding the right heel in. So ankles and knees together, make sure you've got that central position for your spine, choosing which side to bring your legs over to. Breath in as you breathe out, knees over to the side, bring the arm and head over to the same side as your knees. So rolling over to all fours. And once you're ready, tucking the toes under, walking your hands to your knees, pushing up onto your toes, walking your hands to your toes, pushing down through the heels, knees are bent. Let's just hang to the floor. Please check you've got a hip distance on your feet and making sure you don't come back up too quickly. Breath in as you breathe out, push your hips forward, push your knees forward. Make sure you get that rolling through your lower back. Slowly then back up to standing. And once you're there, checking through your posture. So checking your shoulders are down, away from your ears. Have a look down at your feet. Check you've got your hip distance, toes are forwards. Remember that softness through the knees. Switching on your core. Chest stretch, arms behind you, back interlace the fingers. Keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands. Try and get really up tall now from your crown, 2 more inches onto the height of your spine. Few deep breaths with your arms, taking a deep breath in, taking the arms up. And blowing out. And again, deep breath in. Blowing out. And last one, deep breath in. And blowing out. Thank you very much, everybody. Well done for today's session, and well done for all the sessions you've done with me over YouTube. Thank you for hanging on in there. We are back into our classes next week. Really, really excited to see you all. And don't forget, from here on in, on the week you don't come into class, if that applies to you, it will be a mini session on the week you don't come in, and a Zoom session on a Thursday night, and that will be 6:30 every Thursday night at the moment, until we're all back in class every week. So thanks again, it's been great having you along, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.